friends, today I'm going to discuss about the data validation and customize error message using Spring Boot and the utility function. Okay, so what is that error message? When you are exposing any web service, right, there you are sending data and you need to validate the data before invoking any database call or any service call. And simple thing I have added in the pom.xml, so org apache common, so that simple thing like if the message contain any null value or empty value, I can use like stringutils.isEmpty. If it is not, then it will be checking. Okay, and let me go with the flavor of it. And the service what I have exposed here, that XX decode, and I have transaction ID, W type, and the business date. So what I have done, transaction ID make it as a number only. If I just put like A, it will be giving like 2345A. It's not valid. Okay, this is Spring provided validation. Okay, I don't have to do anything. And what I have done here, I have allowed only the long message. Okay, it's not string. So let me go back here for validation request. So here what I have done, long dot value of optional dot off nullable. If transaction ID, if it is a null or the string, then it what it will do, -1, and you will get that if it is something like a something, you will get it will not allow it here. So from the validation controller, you will see that although it's accepting string, but it will finally in the request itself, so validation request itself, it will allow only the long value. Okay, this is Spring provided. And what other part what I have done, so here I have allowed only the account and customer only. Okay, and you have to give the date in the correct format. It's the year, month, and the date. Okay, so first if I give everything perfectly, say account, you see that account information, related information is coming. If I give customer, then we can see that customer related information coming. Okay, and also map list is the number of map list for customer is the one. If for account is a uh, it's a number of map list also one. If I multiple, then it will be multiple count. And regarding the date, rather than it's if I just give like date like 98 as a day, so it's not correct format. Okay, so you will get error message here. And if you give like this, then it's the correct way, you will get it. Okay, so although I have just make validation, and here it's I get message just coming from the collection. Now check how the validation has been done for the W type and the business date. Okay, so what I have done, first I have created validation controller here. Okay, so where is the validation controller? You have to write in the controller itself. So what I have done, so there is a few things. This is the mandatory part and few is the optional part. Okay, so let me check how that is Spring provided validation. So if I just remove W type, okay, so you will get W type is not present, so it's mandatory. Okay, so W type is mandatory. And if you just remove the business date, let's see, that doesn't matter. Okay, so since it is false, it's not required. Okay, if I just remove tran id, so you will get transaction id is not present. And swagger itself, if I just open the swagger, you will find that for required, it will mention that what is required is a dark. or boldface, okay, but which is optional, it's not bold front, okay. Now check first what I have done. So I have passed three parameter, and tomorrow we may have hundred of parameter, okay. So what I have done, I have prepared the request, validation request with that three parameter. And how I have prepared, so I have also used validation util, request util, which I have prepared in the util package, and from the util package itself I have the functions populate request. Here what I have done, that during setting the request or populating request, for example, it's a transaction ID, I have checked that whether it's a number or not. On the w type, I have checked whether it is particular functions is the w type is validate, because I am allowing only customer, okay. So first making empty, if it is empty, say I can give it like account, say anything empty, w type is not valid. Empty is, if I just give empty, then w type is not valid. If I other than customer or account, so then also not valid, okay. So you have to give customer account. So this way I have validate, and make sure that you rather than multiple if else, you can use switch, okay. Switch case, tomorrow we may have other than customer account, we may have multiple thing, right. For the w type we can validate this way. And for the business date, so date, what I have done, so date, if I make it, so how that date validation done, okay. So here in the validate business date, what we have done, accepting the business date, and then validate, okay. It may have that that utility function. So this way I have made validations. So date, what is the expected way that date should be, uh, the date should be, that's a string date value of, so ddmmmyy, it is that oracle or SQL date. I am preparing the SQL date, okay. So from the value of date, from that date, what I have done, I have converted to that to SQL date, okay. And if it's something going wrong, then it's a validation exception. And what happened, if we have that validation exception or parse exception, anything, uh, and the valid, what is that validation exception, say 188, okay. I can give like instead of that, I can give like say 10 10 to 18. So you can, it's a date is valid, but I mean validations, like what we are expecting, like we are expecting yy dd, okay. This 2 9 10 10, so only this one is expected, okay. So other than that we are not expecting, okay. So this way, first one I have shown, if I just give that wrong month, wrong day, then it's a parse exception, and if it's a format, then it's a validation. For both the case I have given general message, custom exceptions, okay. So date format is not valid. I have made that constant, in that constant I have made it, okay. And how I have prepared that, so this is the validation, simple thing, that if we have anything, any error happens here, okay, during the validation, so what I have done here, I have one instance variable error list, and this list is getting populated, okay. And this list, it will populate it, and what finally going to check from the controller itself, I am going to check that whether I have list is not empty, then I'm going to populate the response. Okay, then I'm going to populate the error response. Okay, so if there is any error, then I will give that error list, all that. Say I have given that date error, I have say date error, I have so two error, w type and the date error, both error at the same time I can showcase here. Okay, so this way I can make that validation. So validation part is just this one. Okay, so before it is hitting the service and the DAO layer, I have checked that whether data is valid or not. And for service and the DAO call, that it can be invoking service, web service, or invoking the JDBC or any call. So what I have done, so here validation service, I have prepared service layer, I have passed the request, I have passed from the request, request we have that w type, that's customer or account, and there is the DAO layer. I am moving to DAO layer. So request based on the whether it's a customer or account, I have prepared. For customer, I will get that all that customer related information. How I have given that response itself, response contain the list of map. Okay, so what happened here, list of map. So map is the form of JSON, we are getting in the form of JSON. And for account itself is that execute account. So this way we can configure it here. Okay, and these are simple util functions and the constants, and I have already covered service, request, response. Response contain error list as well as map list. If you have error, error list, and if you have data in the map list. Okay, and other part is the swagger validation request config, is the I have to give the separate and unique function and give the unique group name and give the, since it's a controller, validation Ruby. So here I have given the validation Ruby, so we can get it the swagger easily. Okay, so this way we can, if we make the framework, it will be easy to maintain. Okay, hope you have enjoyed. Keep subscribing, don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you very much. One more thing that I forget, that request util and the request, that mapping. So populate request, how we can validate. So I have just captured the screenshot. Okay, so this is the utility functions and this is the controller. From here you see that controller we invoke that populate error response, otherwise I directly invoke that service and the DAO. And this is the multiple error message. If you have multiple error message, we can see that multiple error here. Okay, so this way we can captured all kind of stuff. Okay, request and the response. So there is the request, long string, business day, w type. Other one, response is the count number of map, and if it is a good response, map list, and if it's error response, we get that list of the error list. Okay, so this way we can configure it. Okay, thank you very much.